大丈夫か？ Before we can talk about the first time the King and Queen of Monsters met, we have to talk about them individually. Most of you likely have heard of these monsters before, and I'd be surprised if you didn't, but how many have actually seen a Godzilla movie? How many of you actually know who Mothra is? In my experience, only people who really like kaiju movies have ever seen Mothra vs. Godzilla, and so far, everyone I've met who's seen it loved it.
It's time to hit it, Joe!
Godzilla, the greatest. Before Mothra vs. Godzilla, he was in 3 movies, being Godzilla, Godzilla Raids Again, and King Kong vs. Godzilla. I'm not going to say much about the first Godzilla because what else can I say that hasn't already been said? I mean, it's a masterpiece. Go watch it. If you haven't seen it, see it. If you have seen it, why not watch it again? Anyways, yeah, the indifference of nature to the existence of humanity, beware nuclear war, all that good stuff. Great movie. Okay, moving on. Well, Toho Studios, the production company responsible for all this, made a ton of money off the first movie, so they decided to make a sequel, literally the next year, called Godzilla Raids Again. It's alright. Then, after a hiatus of 7 years, the guys over at Toho decided to put together King Kong and Godzilla so they could duke it out, because who doesn't want to see Big Monkey fight Nuke Dinosaur? This movie was pretty good, better than the previous installment at least. After this film's success, Toho Studios saw an increased potential for crossover movies, with kaiju fighting each other as a great big spectacle for the theater. And who better to fight Godzilla, a giant lizard with atomic breath and a penchant for wrecking Japan, than a huge cuddly moth? Mothra, the coolest. Now, at this point, Mothra didn't have nearly as much prestige as Godzilla did because the only other movie she had been was her debut, Mothra, in 1961. Now, a bit of a background on Mothra, and why she's the perfect counterpart to Godzilla. Mothra is controlled, protected, summoned. I don't really know the right word for it, but a core thing about Mothra is that there are these tiny twins called the Shobijin. And when I say tiny, I mean, look at them, they're tiny. They're like the essence / representation of all the good that nature and the natural world is / was / can be. And so one day, an expedition crew shipwrecks on this place called Infant Island. The Shobijin live there, and they worship an egg that they call Mothra. And so this greedy business guy kidnaps the Shobijin to make them an attraction in Tokyo, and then the natives of Infant Island worship the egg and say, "Mothra, help us," and they sing the Mothra song, and it's beautiful. And so they summon Mothra, and she saves them. Now, during all of this saving, she really messes some stuff up. Like, a lot of innocent people die because of Mothra. It's kind of similar to how Godzilla messed up Japan really badly in his debut film. However, with Mothra, there's a sense of justice, because she does it for a noble cause. That noble cause being saving 2 tiny twins. I don't know. I really like that sort of moral ambiguity to it. It's top quality filmmaking, if I do say so myself. And then the next year, the geniuses over at Toho said, alright, if we're gonna have Godzilla fight somebody else, it's gonna be Mothra. And so in 1964, 3 years after the first Mothra movie, they decided, okay, we're gonna have Mothra fight Godzilla. And that brings us to Mothra vs. Godzilla. Now that you know about the past, stay tuned for part 2, wherein I discuss the actual content of the film itself.
Que sale una llorona loca, que baila para allá y que baila para acá, con un tabaco prendido en la boca. Que baila para allá y que baila para acá, con un tabaco prendido en la boca.